ass out of myself. It's Capo, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully someone in the chat can let us know, but I'm pretty sure it's Capo.
Well, regardless, they want the skins off for +1 FPS.
+1.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, man, that's the thing about AGs. You get the skins, it's a little bit more fun. You know, you get to represent your favorite OWL teams, maybe, or just the cool skins. But regardless, here over on the blue, Atmosphere Esports. On the red, it's Genesis. I have, like I said, I have a feeling Atmosphere are gonna just, you know, they're gonna make this a 2-0, but we'll see if Hegler can be dealt with. He's on the Pharah. This is the first we've seen of him on the Pharah stats as well. If they can't get a grip on this Tracer for the side of Genesis, it could be a long match for these guys.
I mean, we've seen Hegler and Zerko combine for, you know, a Mercy and DPS combo already before on Dorado, and it was very difficult for the opposition to deal with them. So now that they have the Pharah, I think this is going to be a little bit more fluid for the Mercy's positioning. But they have to deal with Ace of Spades first, and they do that quite easily.
Yeah, that's a good start for these guys. Bread will be taken out of the mech again. I said you needed to find a way to deal with the Tracer, and her stats still has been untouched here. As I say that, he does take a little bit of damage, but it's going to back off the safety. Does have that Discord on top of him, and they're looking to take the first objective points. They're going to do just that as Ace of Spades makes his way back onto the point, but Derek connects onto a kill. Going to open up a little bit of an opportunity to move in off of this, and with Mercy going down, Atmosphere going to look to take hold of this objective quickly. Thereafter, Genesis came up with the first points.
That really shouldn't have been winnable for Atmosphere, but they forced the Pharah out, and then with a little bit of some bad movement, I would say, Derek was easily able to do his best "Who are you" impression and take that Pharah out of the sky, then deal with the Mercy himself as well. So a 1v2 that created a nice advantage for them. Now looking into this next fight, they can, you know, kind of hold on to that advantage perhaps, as they do have 5 ultimates ready to go. As long as, again, they can deal with that Pharah in the sky, or at least win the ground war fast enough to where they don't have to.
Curious to see how they attempt to do against that Pharah. Is it going to be up to Derek, who doesn't actually get hit by that sound barrier? They're sitting on quite a few ultimates, though. Hurix and Brad going to be the first to fall. We'll see if they want to drop anything in this fight. They already used the sound barrier. Dragon Blade now coming out. He does have the support of Plasma Stake there with that Transcendence. It was into a sound barrier. Full Spawn connected onto Chazzy as well, and they're going to maintain control for the time being. Doesn't look like Ersatz or Hegler wanted to drop either of those ultimates, and they're going to be forced to back out of this engagement.
It's really tough trying to get the timing onto a barrage like that, because, you know, you have to make sure that you're safe. So you have to coordinate with either of, or potentially all of, your tanks and your supports to try to make sure that you get a cover. And if you don't, you have to make sure that you get value out of the potentially self-killing ultimate that is barrage a lot of times. But they're just going to start off very aggressively. Ooh. But right firing back is Bread once again.
Wow, what a pickup for those guys. And I thought that was pretty much fight over, because they lost to Mercy and Hegler. And I mean, it's still not fighting the bags. I mean, they might be able to pull themselves back onto this. Mystic is about 50% HP as a reset as well. And Hurix, they're going to dive back onto the point. He gets taken out, isn't going to use his ultimate, but they're going to try to contest 99%. And who knows, maybe they could come out on top, as they do lose Chazzy in this fight. Still, Barrage yet to be used this round, Hurix.
They're still hanging on to it. Derek is getting pushed off the map a little bit, but he'll be able to easily get back on with the Swift Strike. And they're just trying to get this finally in their favor. Barrage still being held on to at the moment, but it looks like for now Genesis Esports might be able to get this into their favor. But the blade comes out, and Derek is able to find the kill onto the Pharah.
Oh my goodness, what a play from Derek. He finds the Mercy in the corner up top as well. And they pull back into that fight here. It's terrific Genji play. And Hegler just not able to find an opportunity, like he said, to drop the barrage. Probably wasn't like the reason itself why they lost that round. But regardless, not a good look for them to get things started here on Oasis.
And we've seen a lot of different looks from a player like Derek. I mean, I know that personally I've seen him on a ton of different characters. And I think because of that, they're able to play the more kind of classic style now, at least, where you see having a Tracer specialist, having your, you know, all your specialists and being able to play with the dive very effectively. Kalyun is a very seasoned Lucio at this stage, and then you have that DPS flex that can just play all these different characters and be strong in not only projectiles, but also having the ability to, of course, play the hit scan as well, which I'm personally aware of his ability to, you know, pull that off as well. So interesting that they pull out the Doomfist and the Reaper together, but given that they're against a 3-tank strat, this should work out.
They aren't going to waste any time getting aggressive here. They do have that, like I said, Doofus in the Reaper as well, coming out from Capo up against Ersatz on the Junkrat, which is deadly. We've seen it from him before. As Capo picks up an early kill onto Chazzy. Not going to be a bad start at all for these guys. They lost out on the objective points right away in the previous round, but easily stormed their way back into it here. But no, they are down a few guys as they lose Ace of Spades as well. They do manage to come through with the first objective points. They're trying to get out of this fight alive. He is going to drop down, and they pop the Moira ultimate a little late. Coalescence coming out from both sides here, but Atmosphere might be forced to give this up.
Definitely forced to pull back. They're going to keep their Diva in there for a little bit. They're just going to try to sustain that for as long as they can, making sure that they can try to get a little bit more points off of that, but Ace of Spades just going to continue that. They eventually will lose control of this, and they will give up a little bit of ult charge in the process as well, but they're going to be able to get that score line a little bit higher and further away from the opposition as Capo comes in as well, just contesting that again, and great timing, great communication from this team to be able to make sure that they're able to just keep one person in there, maximum 2 at a time, so that they can keep just jumping into that point. They were able to get themselves about 20% more or something like that before it was all said and done.
Yeah, and I mean, they give up some ult charge, but here, so you got to take it into consideration that they have a lot of ult charge on their end as well. I mean, they're sitting on 4 here. What can they make of it? Earthshatter gonna come down. Man, he did not hit anything.
A little bit of a whiff there.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't the greatest Earthshatter we've seen, but we do see Doomfist come down. Ersatz gets dropped early on here. A sound barrier connects there from the side of Genesis. Is able to hit all of his teammates, but Bread forced out of his mech. Graviton Surge comes through. Great placement, able to find one for himself. It's going to come out from the other end, and it's looking like this it could be. Earthshatter again from Chazzy. He lays Capo flat while he's trying to bring out the Death Blossom here. And oh my goodness, what a play coming out from the Reinhardt. Whiffs it early on and makes his way back into this one. They hold on, 50% down.
Great sustaining composure from Genesis there. I mean, Fix and Zerko were able to keep them alive through the thick of it. And despite the fact that Derek and Kappa were putting out a ton of pressure and what was initially shut down by Chazzy, I mean, everything else really worked out well for them. And now they're in a good spot at the moment with Tyre ready from Ersatz to potentially be able to hold this one out as well. But here comes the Tyre.
Gonna try to be...
Oh!
No, not, whoa. Okay. And didn't get killed off. He activated that.
Yeah, he did.
All right. Maybe he thought someone was around there. Maybe he thought he could get a very close one at that, but not going to happen. Reinhardt's charge each other, lay each other flat here. They're kind of pinned in the corner. This is not good with that Junkrat firing down at them, especially with Ace of Spades out of this one. 90% and counting. Still have a Graviton Surge and Sound Barrier to work with here, and this is looking like a round 3 could be coming in a matter of moments.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to get onto the point at all. I mean, Ace of Spades going to make a go for it, and he gets close, but they do have the Graviton Surge. They're going to throw it down. Nobody's able to get onto the point, and that will be Genesis tying things up for us. I mean, that was a great turnaround. I mean, yeah, exactly. Very impressive. And now as we go to the next map stage, it's likely that we see Heckler go back over to the Pharah. I wonder if that will be the case, and it looks like we might need a pause. I'm not sure how recently that was, and if it's still necessary. I'm not quite sure. Luckily, I have some time, so yeah, we do need a pause indeed. Not exactly sure what the reason for that is, but waiting to see the compositional changes. I imagine we'll probably see Hegler swap. At the moment, though, Zerkonate is still on the Lucio. We've already seen Chazzy swap. That's why I imagine that we're going to see it. Because as he does go over to a Winston, I wouldn't expect a Zarya follow-up. I would probably expect the Pharah to come out once again. But then it's curious to see what we're going to get out of Derek. We already saw how he could deal with a Pharah, a la Who Are You? But obviously just not to that degree. So I imagine he'll play a hit scan, and there it is, actually. Hegler going to be going over to the Genji. We saw him do pretty well on first point of Dorado earlier, but after that, just a little bit lackluster, I'd say. And now again, Derek backed up actually by a Mercy from Kalyun.
All right, Hegler on the Genji, gonna try to make a big play, but does have Derek to worry about. We'll see if Derek can get his hands on the Genji, on the Tracer gameplay. Atmosphere Esports, I mean, I expected it to be a 2-0 here in the set, a 2-0 on Oasis, but Genesis really stepping their game up when it matters here in the finals. Looking for Ace of Spades to make a move as Kepo actually looking to get up top and deal with Fix. Meanwhile, they do actually lose him. That's a rough start as the Tracer and Winston both go down, and Genesis going to start with the first objective point. They're going to easily be able to finish off the rest of these guys, get some more of that old chart.
Great movement from Genesis, just making sure that they slowly crept up, used LOS, and then we actually saw Atmosphere catching themselves in a position where they couldn't really help Capo out at all. They couldn't get that Harmony over to him and make sure that there was a Discord for whatever he was attacking, so he had to take that duel straight up and just wasn't fortunate enough to win that one against the Zenyatta Fix, who was just ready for him.
30% already on the board. And Derek gonna have to get his grip on Ursox here, who's ready to go with the Pulse Bomb in a matter of seconds. Ace of Spades gonna be caught out here, potentially able to get out of this one. Looks like he's gonna be safe for the time being. Pulse Bomb's out there, not quite gonna find anything. Ursox does get dropped. Oh, he does get a DMAC actually, onto Mystic here. Regardless, Deadeye comes through, able to find a kill for himself. A bit of an odd battle at that. Didn't really look like a lot of initiation came out from Atmospheres. They're picking them from afar here, and they still have a chance to come through with their objective points. Just need to get this Lucio out of the picture.
Should be able to do that, but he's proving to be a little slippery, and now we see the Tracer involved again, and he's going to put pressure onto this McCree, force out the flashbang as well, and they're just going to creep their way back onto the point, and if they can deal with this, I would say Plasma Snake just a little bit aggressive in his positioning here. We see Bread come in, and Derek now under pressure. They have to pull back a little bit here.
They use both the support ultimates in this fight right now. Not a fan of what I just saw there. I don't think the Valkyrie really needed to come out from Kalyun. Plasma does end up dropping here, and Hurix, they're at 90% off of this already, and they're still finding kills. We're going to see a res come through. Plasma back up into this fight. And they're finally going to come through. 95% though, not what I expected from Atmosphere whatsoever.
Especially pulling out both of the support ults. That's a great opening for Hegler coming into this next fight, where he's going to have Dragon Blade. They're going to be able to have the backup from Fix and Zirconate. So, I mean, this is incredible for Genesis. This is a great opportunity for them to just silence them here, take this 2-1, and really impress us starting off here first map Oasis. But they have to close it out right now.
Dragon Blade ready to go from Hegler. We'll see if he can make anything of it. Doesn't have to worry about the Transcendence, though. Could get picked off early by Capo or Derek as they make their way onto the point. And Fix trying to spot them from up top. Sound Barrier to get the initiated push coming out here from Genesis. Can he find anything? Self-destruct comes through. Hegler with a Dragon Blade in the back. Picks up one for himself. It is a bit of a favored fight in favor of Genesis right now, Hurix, and it doesn't look like Atmosphere is able to make it back on. Mystic going to go down. Ace of Spades, the lone survivor. He's going to drop in a matter of moments. And Hurix, game number 1, going over to Genesis. Very unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, Atmosphere has been just trouncing their opponents all night long, and Genesis, who we saw go pretty close to their opposition just before TGC, and I'm glad I actually got that right this time. But actually, I think you were the one that got it wrong before.
I did.
But I mean, it was pretty close between those two teams. So to see Genesis prop up here and be able to perform well, show us a lot of different looks, I think that really goes a long way to showing what this team is capable of, especially up against a really seasoned team of what once was the Savages.
Game number 1 to Genesis. And we're going to be heading to Numbani for the second map, Hurix. A map we didn't get to see with Genesis and TGC earlier. Would have been game number 3, but of course, Genesis not needing to go to that one. So it will be Atmosphere on defense to get things underway. And curious to see if their style of play is going to change up at all, moving to a different game mode here.
I'm curious what kind of looks we're going to get out of primarily Hegler and Derek on opposing teams. Genesis, of course, having Hegler, and Atmosphere having Derek. I mean, these guys are very, very dynamic with everything that they play. We've seen them on hit scan, we've seen them on projectile, we've seen them playing flanking roles before. I don't know exactly what kind of strategy they're going to try to use. It might also be based on what tanks they want to play, but we've seen Mercy now from Kalyun and Zerkonate. We've seen pretty much every look in the book. I mean, we haven't yet seen a pickup of Widowmaker from Atmosphere, but we've only seen them on Oasis so far today. So curious to see what we're going to get out of them, especially as they're in a position now where, you know, if they lose the map here on Numbani, I mean, that's it. That is all she wrote for the rest of the tournament, and Genesis Esports will take it. So I think Genesis Esports has just been kind of quietly taking down their opposition, because even in the last matchup, it didn't really seem like Genesis Esports was, you know, this massive team that just like was able to just rip down TGC. I mean, that was a close matchup, and here again against Atmosphere, which is a massive team, you know, they're doing just the same, just quietly ripping them apart and winning out in some of these fights where they have a couple show out moments, but for the most part, it's just consistency that's keeping them in this one.
Well, looks like they did want the skins off, so no skins in this. I've never actually had in 95 weeks anyone request having skins off in a stream game, but it is what it is. Want a little bit more FPS if possible. So Atmosphere kind of on their back foot right now here. Down 0-1 here in the finals. Map number 3 would be Route 66, so a little bit more similar to Numbani as opposed to Oasis, but we'll see what they can do. Genesis on fire. And probably not going to be letting off the pedal either, as Ursats was tearing these guys up, and Derek not going to be on the McCree here on defense, so going to have to find a way to get a grip on him.
I mean, if you're needing the skins off for just that precious few frames, I've got a Game Boy Color over here. I've got a Game Boy Color over here that might be able to outperform that laptop there or something. I mean, that is asking for a lot, but either way, we'll make sure that we get it done because it doesn't hurt us any. So whatever. But you know, starting off here, Hegler at the moment is going to be on a soldier, so I imagine they're going to try to play high ground, and they do also have Zerko on an Ana. So I mean, this is a very dynamic team so far. We've seen a lot of different looks from them. We've seen 4 tank. We've seen, I think 4 tank. We might have only seen 3 tank actually. I don't know if, because I think Ursats was playing the Junkrat, and then Hegler was playing tank, and then when they swapped up, it was actually Ursats on the Roadhog, and Hegler was playing DPS still. So I'm not actually sure if we saw 4 tank, but we definitely saw 3. But in the meantime, we will see Zerko swapping over to the Mercy. They're still going to go for high ground, though. They're still going to try to make that push. We'll have to see if the dive of Atmosphere is going to be able to deal with that.
They're going to be doing a little bit of a split push up top, trying to contest both sides here as Hegler is the first to fall. Ace of Spades out of the picture, though. They've got the numbers advantage. They can move on to the point if they want. Need to deal with Capo, who is under a lot of pressure. Does part with a kill on the Fix, but not really sure if it's going to make the world of difference here, as the Lucio is still bouncing around. Then both supports still in play here on defense. That's a pretty big, but they don't really have much of a point presence here. It's already 2 ticks going in favor here of Genesis. They should be able to contest here on defense. Nothing to work with, though. Valkyrie is coming up momentarily.
Ace of Spades gets ripped apart, and Mystic has nobody left to help him, so he'll get taken down as well. Derek just going to get eliminated so quickly after getting that health pack by Fix on the Zenyatta. And again, we're in a situation where we see the support still involved in this fight. But, I mean, by themselves, not going to be able to do too much. Capo's still around, though. Might be able to help them out. Might be able to solidify this fight. Pulse Bomb comes out. Not going to be able to do much other than just demeching there. But Ace of Spades is back in it and again gets ripped down.
Wow, Ursats is a monster. Derek comes through, though, with the Swift Strike, and this is just so close. I mean, 90% here. They do pop the Primal Rage. They want this so badly. They're going to pop the Valkyrie here from the offense, and if you go in for a res, we'll see what they want to do with it. Not actually going to go... Actually, no one's there to res. Excuse me, I thought that was on the defense for a second. Plasma Stake forced to pop his ult. There's a Dragon Blade, but no one's there here. It's Derek, a bit of a wasted ult attack. Tries to get aggressive with it, but they do manage to hold them off for the time being. 2 minutes off of that one push.
And now attack visor ready. They're already getting into position. Now you don't have the blade to just dive him. with the support of your tanks to just quickly dispatch of that pressure that could come out. The lethality of the tac visor is going to be there. They go for it anyway. Sound barrier comes out. It protects them for now, and they find the kill.
Transcendence on the point. Fix. Oh, Mystic gets dropped here. Fix does keep a little bit of his team healthy for the time being, and they are going to rack up the remaining few kills I think they need right now. Ace of Spades does try to prolong it, though, with the Primal Rage. Going to buy more time for these guys to get back into it. Capo not quite going to land that pulse bomb at that Hurix. And oh my goodness, they are back in this on defense. I mean, Mystic's back in the mix, excuse me, and both supports are here once again. They don't really have anything to work with, though. Plasma Snake is at 90% on his ult. If he can stay alive, no, he gets dropped by Bread, but nobody's here on the point. They've got 4 people, actually make it 5, as Bread is here, but he's not in his mech, excuse me, here. It's 1 minute to go. I mean, the defense still could hold this.
We'll have to see. They had to put pressure on Fix in the back, but answered by Bread, and he is able to find the kill onto Derek. I mean, he was able to dispatch of almost everybody by himself. Just great positioning from the D.Va, being able to not only protect and peel for your teammates, but also proving to be quite lethal himself. And now as they go forward, I mean, they have to breathe a sigh of relief at the moment, because that was so insane. Between those 2 fights alone, I mean, no resets really between them except for the one, obviously, to cut it in half, but very back and forth between those.
Well, they do actually have a Transcendence here from Plasma that's going to be pretty good if Hegler does come up with that tactical visor. We'll see what they make of it. But they're not going to waste any time here on defense trying to sweep them under the rug as the self-destruct actually comes out here. Red not able to find anything, but they're going to be forced to retreat here on offense. Look for a little bit of a regroup. See if they can take this numbers advantage and do something with it.
Pulse bomb at the ready for both sides now. Looking for that pick opportunity just to kind of set the pace for the fight. They can get an advantage early on. That would definitely help them. Either side could use that right now, especially as this is approaching now. That check-in. Ace of Spades is just kind of sneaking his way on by.
Tactical visor up top. Sound barrier, though, it is going to be matched by another Dragon Blade. But again, Derek, there's no one here. He gets absolutely nothing for it. Second time in a row.
Zoning ult.
Yeah, zoning ult. That's what we call a zoning ult. I mean, he didn't do anything with the tactical visor either from Hegler, who makes a change now over to the Genji, but they are still holding on strong here on defense. 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining as they want to make the hold here. So they want to push this to a game number 3 on Route 66 if possible, but still a lot of work to be done.
They're really trying to find the kill on the Derek. They're getting very aggressive, but he's going to jump out, and that's going to be followed up by Chazzy. They might actually take advantage of that situation by diving in on him. He does manage to get out for now, but he's very, very low, and finally Capo does find that kill. So Atmosphere is going to regain their composure, and now might find a late kill into Fix, but I think just due to the fact that he was able to dish out that pressure to Capo, that's going to scare him back. So now, once again, it will be Genesis Esports gathering back up, grouping up for another push. So they do not have much of an option in terms of ultimate usage, but they do have the sound barrier at least.
On defense here, I mean, it's going to be matched by another sound barrier and a Transcendence, so it just doesn't look good for these guys. I mean, with 35 seconds to go, you kind of got to get something right away, and a pulse bomb on Chazzy is not a good look, but they do take care of Plasma Snake, so maybe an opportunity to move in 5-on-5. That's exactly what they're going to look for, and the sound barrier from the defense doesn't quite connect onto all the team. Now a Dragon Blade in the back. Hegler, the patience, could be rewarded here, but doesn't really find a whole lot with that one, but it doesn't seem to matter. There are not a lot of targets in the area. Hurix, they're going to secure the second checkpoint, give themselves that additional 90 seconds to work with, and see if they can complete the map.
Well, Blade once again ready for Derek. He's found nothing so far throughout this map since he's had them. I think both times I don't think he's even touched anybody with it, but Bread going forward, being aggressive, trying to get his mech back up or just give his life away. I think ideally he wanted his mech back, but he's going to die for the cause and backing up now because of that 6v5 situation that they put themselves in. Only just over a minute at the moment, and again, that Blade ready, Plasma Snake having Transcendence. Fix will have one of his own to try to deal with Derek if they do wind up having him pull it out very early, but looking to try to pressure Bread out if they can.
Well, Transcendence coming through here again for the side of Fix. Pulse Bomb's out there. It's not going to be able to save the Lucio, though. Dragon Blade in the back. Derek looking to get something done. Chazzy is going to be trying to run away. Not quite going to be able to get away with his life, though. Finally, Derek is able to come through and at least touch a person with the Dragon Blade this time here. It's 35 seconds to go. Few ultimates used in that last fight. Primal Rage is ready for both teams to maybe prolong this final fight. But again, they're going to have to win probably 2 team fights to be able to complete this map. And with Fix going down, that's not good.
And Capo at the moment as well. He's just looking to put some pressure out initially onto the tank. So, I mean, if Chazzy does jump in, he's already going to be taken down pretty low. So he's not going to be in a good spot to really push the pressure forward. And Ursats does find a kill early on onto Ace of Spades, but Chazzy still can't really jump in, force the Primal Rage out just so he can get aggressive. And he's looking for Mystic, trying to de-mech the D.Va at the moment.
They're going to find Capo. In the back is Derek. He's going to look to come around with a little bit of a flank, maybe with the rest of his squad. Hegler is going to have to get work done with this Dragon Blade. He's got to be the savior they need. He's looking to unsheath the blade here. The Sound Barrier is out for the defense. Hits a few members. Here comes the Dragon Blade. He was a little patient for it. Finds Kalyun looking for another Genji if he can possibly find it. But the self-destruct's on the payload. Looking to find something. Nobody's on the payload and it's going to expire. And they don't quite finish the map here. I feel like there was an opportunity to do that, but as you can see at the kill feed at the end, they all go down. In Atmosphere Esports, they've got their work cut out for them here.
And with that slowing of time, Derek also is able to find some kills with his blade. So at the very end there as well. I mean, he was able to get one on the third, but the first 2 were not the greatest. If you're looking at how to utilize the blade efficiently, certainly do not look at the first 2. Those were very #unfortunate, given the spacing that the attacking team was able to get away from the blade the first 2 times, especially the timing on the first one that was pulled out. But they're now attacking. Derek once again going to be on the Genji, and we'll see. At the moment, Zerko again being on a Mercy defensively, and this could be something that I'm wondering what Hegler is going to pull out to play off of this, because it's definitely going to be Hegler that would enable this, or rather it would be Zerko that's enabling whatever Hegler is picking, and I'm not sure exactly what they would want to go here. I think this definitely points in the direction of not a soldier, and it is going to be a Pharah, it looks like, which could be an interesting first choice, especially given the fact that it's not likely that Derek is going to be going for a McCree himself very early on. You probably expect the dive. That's what the Savages is kind of known for at the moment. So I think this is a decent first pick for them, bringing Zerko away. That just alleviates targets that could be targeted by the dive from Atmosphere.
Well, this is it. Atmosphere need to come through. They need to win this map if they want to head to Route 66 and have an opportunity to take the finals here tonight. I think everyone's a little bit surprised that Genesis was able to take Oasis 2-1 earlier here, but they have an opportunity to take this whole entire set. We'll see what they're able to do with it. As Hegler, like you mentioned, back on this Pharah, is Derek his plasma stake? Are they able to actually deal with him is the real question here.
And after this first fight, if it does not go the way that they want it to, they're going to dive right in onto the Zenyatta. This is a complete opening for them. I don't even know how they got that trade. That should have been a free kill for them as they attacked in, but they're taking a lot of pressure still outside as Hegler has gone unchecked. And despite the fact that there was just that easy first pick for them, they will, I mean, it is very unlikely that they win this one out. And if they do, that would be insane.
Well, they are still going to continue with the pressure here. They need to find a way to deal with Hegler. As I say that, he gets taken down by the D.Va in disguise. And Genesis are slowly actually maybe making their way back into this one here. I mean, they have both supports in the area. We'll see if they can get up to this Valkyrie or not. They are going to lose a tick or two. They don't have much of a point presence here as the D.Va is way out of position. It's going to be Ursats against the world, I'd say at this point. He does manage to find a kill for himself. He is going to go down, and that should be checkpoint secured.
That's very quick, too, for Atmosphere, and they didn't really have to even deal with the Pharah. I'm questioning why Hegler wasn't more aggressive in that situation to try to deal with Ace of Spades, and that, you know, right before they were able to get back in there, because there we saw Derek make the swap, and that's what I was going to say before they actually did dive onto Fix, was that, you know, if this doesn't go their way initially, we're very likely to see a swap from Derek onto either McCree or Soldier, and he just made the quick swap over to Soldier, was able to get back very quickly, and then came in and found a pick very early on and was very consistent with the pressure he was putting out. You can see the effect of that. He already has Tac Visor after being in that fight only at the last half.
Tac Visor coming out from Derek is going to be contested for a moment there by Chazzy. Nicely placed. Self-destruct is able to find one here, but that payload is going to be sitting still for the time being. I think Atmosphere, I mean, they've got the numbers here to be able to clean this up. Just need to take care of this Lucio, and more than likely should be able to secure a second checkpoint off this. I mean, those are some very late kills. The Winston is still in the area to contest potentially, but I don't know, 4 minutes to work with. You get the extra 90 seconds. This is already looking like we're heading to a game 3.
I mean, this is the atmosphere team that we were kind of expecting to see, just that domination, and they're in a good spot to be able to close this out, but they have to get the second one. They already have, now they have 5 minutes on the clock. They already have spawn advantage. I mean, this fight is going their way. This is looking so good for the attack from Atmosphere. They're easily cleaning this one up. The payload is still pushing. No real contest there at all from Genesis. Things are quickly deteriorating from this team.
On the defense, it is going to be a attack visor ready to go. It's going to really have to save the day, or Sats is going to have to step up to the plate. 4 minutes and 45 seconds. I mean, what more could you ask for if your Atmosphere here, as Bread is the first to fall? They could very well take it right now. Hegler, they go ahead with the Tac Visor. They drop the beat, but they play rather defensive with it, knowing that Tac Visor might still be able to pick them apart as they look to move in. Now Fix off the board as well, and they just don't have anything to work with. Full spawn, sound barrier, that's about it for the defense here. He's going to have to find a good opportunity to drop the beat here, but that payload is so close. There's the beat. It's going to be dropped. Fix makes a move over to Ana as well, but her Sats comes through with a couple of kills, and they're going to be able to make a hold for the time being.
I'm actually not sure about that. They were already kind of winning. They had, they didn't really have a lot of momentum, but they were finding those kills. They were able to secure those. I think they would have been able to do that without the barrier, but either way, they do take it. But going forward, looking at this next fight, you know, Fix is swapping back over to the Zenyatta. They have, I mean, Attack Visor soon-ish. They have the Pulse Bomb going out, and luckily they're able to follow it up. Ursas, at least alone, was able to follow it up and find a kill on Ace of Spades. That's a little bit more time bought for the rest of the team. Now there's a little bit more option for them. So great play from their Tracer to buy them more time. But even still, when you look at this next fight, I mean, you're talking about trying to deal with Sound Barrier coming up pretty soon. It's at 77% Storm, and we also have the Tac Visor that has been held onto by Derek, and there's nothing to really answer it. So if Derek comes out and is able to win the duel against Hegler, take him out of the fight, he's just free. I mean, that's just free low with the Tac Visor, just cleaning everything up with the positioning that they have right now defensively.
Still, 3 minutes is quite a bit of time. It's going to take a miracle here for Genesis to take this. Primal Rage could be forced out there, as we saw that Pulse Bomb come out from Capo. Tactical Visor from Derek, as Hegler going to try to match it with one of his own in a matter of moments here. Locked and loaded into another Sound Barrier. The self-destruct goes out. Is he able to find anything? No, neither of them will be able to connect with it, though Bread does get demeched, and that could spell defeat, as it looks like they're in a heap of trouble. Chazzy is going to have to move back off this, but Ace of Spades goes down, and Ursats once again looking to be the savior for this team here.
Well, Transcendence ready almost for both teams. Plasma Snake has his, and now we'll see them going forward. Hegler getting very, very close. I mean, he's at 60% already. He's been able to dish out a ton of damage. I don't know how that didn't stick onto him, but he is able to elude the Pulse Bomb.
It looked like it did from my angle, but regardless, it was a bit of an early Transcendence from Fix, trying to deal with that pressure coming out from Capo here. So they're still sitting on a Sound Barrier. He's going to drop the beat because another Tactical Visor comes out from Derek. Can he clean it up? They just can't seem to find the kills. It's one thing after another, as Hegler again coming up on his own Tactical Visor. Preemptive Sound Barrier coming out as well, as Kalyun trying to just make the final push for the squad, but now they don't have that to work with for Tactical Visor from Hegler.
There's going to be no answers. This should be good. I mean, Mystic will be able to have his... oh, he actually throws it out right before. This is going to be an opportunity, but they do deal with him. They only take down Plasma Snake, but given the fact that it is going to be a 2-for-2, that does bode well for the defensive side, but they still have to clean this up, and given their spawn advantage, they should be able to if they play this correctly, especially given the fact that Mystic is down pretty low and doesn't have a reset anytime soon. They definitely demech him there as well. Only 1 minute remains here. Storm and Derek close to attack Visor, but swapping to the Genji.
Yeah, he swaps over. Wow, just Mystic, he just jumps off the map. He needs to reset. 60 seconds. If they find another killer in the Plasma, that would have been big, but what in the world, Kirk? Say 5 minutes to finish this, and the unthinkable from Genesis Esports could happen here. They have a sound barrier, they have a tactical, excuse me, they have a bow support ultimates, I wanted to say here. Neither ready here from the side of Atmosphere. It's going to be up to, I think, Capo to try to force out that Transcendence from Fix. Can he do it? Does he get picked off early? They're looking to make a move. 30 seconds to go. Ursat's in the back line looking to get something done. Pulse Bomb not quite going to stick there from Capo. Self-destruct goes out. They're going to try to get something done here. Sound Barrier forced out. Plasma Snake goes down. Here's Fix. He uses the Transcendence. Sound Barrier still ready to go if they need it. 14 seconds to go here. It's all or nothing. Everything in the bag here. Sound Barrier comes out. And Hurix, Tactical Visor, ready to go. Hegler going to try to clean it up.
Well, he's going to go ahead and set his sights onto Mystic. They're going to try to demech him. They actually do manage to get him, but they need to find the kill outside of that. He's going to resuit for now, and it's Ursat's coming up with the kill onto Kalyun.
Oh, Transcendence. Plasma Snake now back into the mix. They have 3 people on the payload, but that defensive spawn, Pulse Bomb sticks. Zerg is going to go down. Ursat's against the world. They have an Ana in the back as well. 4 people here for the offense. They have no tanks to get on the payload. There comes the Winston. He has a Primal Rage, but a Dragon Blade is here. He's going to go ahead and pop that Primal Rage right away. They find Plasma Snake, but so much damage is being cut into this Winston. D.Va now back in the mix. Bread has a reset with the self-destruct. He's just going to drop it immediately. They need to make sure they contest. Finds the kill. Derek goes down. Sound Barrier a little late to the party, but a Pulse Bomb on the Mystic does get the D-Mech. Here's what is going on. This is looking like Genesis have this in the bag. 2 people here for the defense. Pulse Bomb on the Bread. He gets D-Mech to get. They come back with a Mercy from Fix. I don't even know what's happening right now here, but it looks like they've got this one. Ace of Spades is here. He doesn't have his ultimate, and it's going to be Genesis in a matter of seconds, I think, taking this game. Overtime ticks down, and they do it. They take the tournament.
They're able to secure that in such a big way, and in my opinion, really kind of upsetting the team that I would have expected to win this tournament. You know, had we, of course, seen that it was that same team, that it was the Savages there, but... I mean, excellent display from Genesis Esports throughout this tournament, and now I'm really curious to have seen what it would have looked like if it was like TGC in the semifinals actually playing against what